All right, and welcome back. So in this video, we are going to be talking about rates, ratios, and proportions. This is going to be a big topic, not only now, but moving forward. This is definitely something that we want to focus on, especially because we're going to be seeing rates and ratios and proportions come up all throughout the year. So this is a great foundational skill that we need to focus on. So without further ado, let's discuss. So we know this overall idea about multiplying by 1 does not change the value of a number. So for example, if we had 33 and we multiply it by 1, that's still equal to 33. So multiplying by a fraction that's equal to 1 also does not change the value either. So if we have 33 times 5 over 5, well, that's also equal to 1. So 33 times 1 is now 33. So by multiplying by a fraction that has a value of 1, we're not changing the overall value. So multiplying by 1 is the idea behind what is called converting rates. Converting rates. And you might have heard rates before, like miles per hour, dollars per hour, gallons per second, right? You might have heard these rates in your real life surroundings. And today we're going to be talking about how to convert those rates to get a specific rate that we're looking for. So for example, if we had miles per hour, but we wanted feet per second, we're going to be talking about how to simplify and work out those rates into what we're looking for using this idea that we can multiply by 1 and not change the overall value. So let's talk about this example, converting 33 feet per second to miles per hour. So we're going to start by converting feet to miles because we're talking about feet per second and we want miles. So we have to convert feet into miles. So this requires a little bit of background information. And if you don't have this, feel free to look it up to figure out these conversion rates or ask a friend or even ask me. But we're going to start by converting feet to miles. So we know that 33 feet per second could be written as 33 feet divided by 1 second. So we're going to multiply, remember, by 1. So we're going to multiply by 1 mile for every 5,280 feet. That is the conversion rate of miles to feet. And we want to write the ratio so that feet is in the denominator because we currently have it starting out in the numerator. If you notice, we start with feet in the numerator and we want it to cancel out. So we want to have that feet in the denominator. Notice how it got canceled out. So now we're left with 33 times 1 mile, which is 33 miles, and 1 second times 5,280, which gives us 5,280 seconds. So we have this new ratio written, 33 miles for 5,280 seconds. So we have the miles part down, which is great, but we don't have the hours part. So we are going to convert the seconds into hours. And again, there is a little blurb saying 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet, which again is equal to 1. So now let's convert the seconds into hours. And here is going to take 2 different conversions because we can't naturally go from seconds to hours, but we know we can go from seconds to minutes and then minutes to hours. So we're going to be doing 2 different conversions here. So I know it looks like a lot, but again, we're starting with 33 miles over 5,280 seconds, and we're going to be multiplying it again by 1, but twice. So when we multiply, we know there's 60 seconds for every 1 minute. So we need to look at where we're starting at, and we're starting at 33 miles over 5,280 seconds. So we want to have seconds in the numerator. That way those seconds will cancel out. And as we do that in the first time, you see that cancels and this cancels. So now we technically would end up with miles over minutes, but we don't want miles over minutes. We want miles per hour. So we're going to use another conversion, and we know there's 60 minutes in every 1 hour. So now the minutes cancel, And we're going to be left with only hours in the denominator, and we're still going to stay with miles in the numerator. So we multiply straight across the numerator, multiply straight across the denominator, and we get 22.5 miles per hour. And again, I know it looks like a lot because there's a lot at the same time. Once we start to break it down and do one conversion at a time, we're going to find the process is going to be a little bit easier. So with that in mind, please work on problems 1 through 5 on the guided notes and resume when you're ready to move forward. All right, if you listen to my voice, that means you are ready to talk about proportions. So proportions, we can use what are called cross products to help us solve proportions. Proportions is when you are comparing two ratios. To have a proportional relationship means that one ratio, or one fraction, is equal to another ratio, normally, again, a fraction. So in this example, we want to solve x divided by 10 is equal to 4 over 25, which means that x divided by 10 should have the exact same value as 4 over 25. And we can use what's called the cross product. So we're going to multiply across. So we're going to multiply up to the left and up to the right. So we get x times 25, which is 25x, and 10 times 4, which is 40. Again, if you need me to highlight that for you, we went x to 25 to give us 25x. We went 10 to 4 to give us 40, because we use the cross product. So now we're going to divide both sides by 25 to solve for x. We get 40 over 25. We can simplify that down to be 8 over 5, or we could also figure it out to be 1.6. So we get x is equal to 1.6, and that helped by using the cross product. Now, sometimes it's necessary to use a distributive property while, in addition, using the cross product. And let's go through an example. Sometimes you're going to have to use the distributive property twice, right? But there are possibilities when we have to use the distributive property. So let's say we want to solve this proportion. We have 4 divided by x plus 2 and equal to 2 over 5. That means we're going to use the cross product, and we're going to multiply 4 by 5. We're going to multiply 2 by x plus 2. Now, remember, we're multiplying the quantity of x plus 2 by 2. It's not just x by 2 or 2 by 2. The entire denominator is what we are multiplying by a factor of 2. So notice we have the distributive property set up. We're going to now distribute the 2 to the x as well as the 2. And we're going to solve for x just like we normally would. So we figure out that x is equal to 8. The biggest thing here is you have to be wary and you have to be mindful that we are multiplying the entire denominator by 2. We're not picking and choosing some terms here. We're multiplying the entire denominator by 2. A lot of students forget that every now and then, so please try to be mindful to think about why we are multiplying. Not just, hey, I see numbers, I'm going to multiply, but think about why am I multiplying? What values am I multiplying by? In this case, we're multiplying the entire denominator by 2. So we have to use the distributive property, which is why we get x is equal to 8. Awesome job today, folks. Keep up the great work. You should be really, really proud of yourself. I know I am. Please work on problems 6 through 9 on the guided notes. Please let me know if you have any questions. And other than that, I will see you soon. Thanks.